How do I change careers without destroying everything I've built? If you're feeling stuck because you're worried about losing everything, then this video will help you understand the steps that you need to take so that you can start to move forward more confidently. Right now, you're probably thinking, I either need to stay in the job that I'm in, or I take a leap of faith and jump into uncertainty. But it doesn't have to be like that. There are much safer ways to transition into a new career or into starting your own business or doing something more meaningful. You do not have to quit your job tomorrow. So when I quit my job, it looked like I took a leap of faith. To outsiders, that's what it might have appeared as. However, I'd spent several years agonizing over what I wanted to do and then months planning and bridge building. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but there were quite a few things I wanted to explore. In order to do that, I needed to create myself a safety net. I did this by firstly building bridges and building my networks. I worked in the charity sector. Firstly, I ensured that I had a strong network in the sector I already worked in. This meant that I could always return back to it if everything else failed. Secondly, if I went back into employment, I thought about returning into social impact rather than fundraising. So I started to build my networks with social impact consultancies. I followed this up by then building a transition fund. This was the fund that I would need to help me live and survive whilst I was exploring new avenues. I also sought the support from my partner to ensure that I was able to follow through with what I was doing. One of the things I wanted to do was work and live abroad, and I found myself a volunteer role as a social impact consultant in Sri Lanka. Now, the role was 3 months, which was perfect. It meant that I could experience working and living abroad for a fixed period of time, and it was also in a sector that I was considering moving into. The role was perfect in that it offered personal development opportunities plus my opportunity to share my skills with a small business. So this not only helped me build my confidence, but it also helped me grow as a person. Now, I didn't really think more beyond that role because I just wanted to experience it and just see what happens, and I would reevaluate when I got back. When I got back, I wasn't ready to go back into employment yet, so I decided I was going to follow another one of my interests, which was to train as a personal trainer. Now, this one had been a bit illogical to me in the past. It didn't really make any sense. I wasn't really a gym bunny. I didn't spend a lot of time in the gym. I did spend a lot of time running. It was just something that interested me, so I thought I should just do the course. It was amazing. The course taught me so much about things I had just never really thought about. And one of them was that I was quite good at instructing, and I really enjoyed learning about the body and the anatomy. So these are things I learned about myself that I wouldn't otherwise have known. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. I wasn't convinced that I wanted to be a personal trainer. So I just thought I'd just do the course because I'm interested in it. However, when I finished it, I realized that there were lots of opportunities that interested me. So doing the course actually opened a lot of doors and provided opportunities that I would not have known about. I went on to build a business using my personal training as a basis. But then I went on to do other courses which allowed me to do more rehabilitative work, and now I work with people who need remedial help. So it offered me a lot more opportunity that I would never have thought of in the past. So what I'm saying here is, often, once you've taken a step, it allows you to see what's next. So it's like opening a door. You don't know what's behind that door until you've opened it. You don't know what opportunities exist until you've actually taken some action. So how do you change careers without blowing up your life? Well, firstly, you get clear on what direction it is you want to follow. So like me, I had lots of ideas and I knew that I wanted to explore those different ideas. So for you, you'd need to know what it is, which direction you want to pursue, what it is you want to look at and what you want to explore. If you're unsure, you can start by looking at your values and what's important to you and what interests you. Those are great places to start in terms of what direction you want to take. So if you're thinking about changing sectors, then you might want to start thinking about building networks in those areas and gaining some experience there. If you need to just do some study, you might want to look at the courses that you need to take, how long they're going to take, and which courses would be appropriate for you. Thirdly, building a transition fund. Now, this is extremely important to help you move forward. A lot of people will say that financial insecurity stops them moving forward, stops them changing careers, stops them starting something completely new. So knowing your numbers and having a buffer fund will give you that time and space that you need in order to make that transition. Fourthly, you need to challenge your thinking on any of the blocks that come up. So for example, you might say to yourself, I can't afford to make that change. So you need to really interrogate that thought to identify whether it's true. Or you might say, you've got responsibilities and you let your family down. But if you're making strategic decisions and you're thinking it through, are you still letting your family down? You need to really interrogate and ask yourself these questions to find out if they are actually true or they're just assumptions or false beliefs. The fifth one is that you need to think about taking small steps. You do not need to take large, massive, risky leaps. Just small strategic steps are what helps you move forward. If you know you need to change something in your life, but you don't know how or where to start, download the Next Chapter Roadmap now. It's a step-by-step practical guide to helping you identify what your next move is without risking anything. You don't need to quit tomorrow. You don't need to throw away everything that you've built. You just need to identify what your next step is, and that Next Chapter Roadmap will help you get there. Comment roadmap in the comments or find the link in the description.